You guys, this whole eBay thing is getting crazy. Day by day, I'm just kind of like blown away by... I know I keep on going back to it, but the power of the ask. Chase after the right price. The power of the ask. Okay? So I did a video not too long ago, last week, that spoke about what do you call it? Spoke about I wanted to do a thing where I had a PS5 and I'm no longer really interested in keeping it or holding on to it because I'd much rather have a Switch 2. Why do you say that, True? PS5 is crazy. Well, yeah, it's crazy, it's good and everything, but like I have two crazy on-the-go children and my life is always on the go with work and all that stuff. Like I need, if I'm ever gonna game, I want something that I can just pick up and play. And that's a Switch. I've had a Switch since it came out. The Switch 2 came out, and it's releasing the Final Fantasy Remake series. My favorite game of all time. So it was like kind of a no-brainer that I wanted to pick it up. So what did I do? I decided, and I told you guys last video, I'm gonna take my PS5 and I'm gonna go shop it around, maybe sell it on eBay, sell it to a buddy locally or something like that, and go get myself a Switch 2. I said that I sent that video out on Monday and I told you guys my goal was to get it by Friday. Well, today is Monday still. I went on my lunch break and I took the PS5 with me to my local game store. I reached out to GameStop and I just wanted to see, and I asked them like, hey, what would you guys do credit-wise for PS5? No additionals. I left my extra controller, my extra PS5 games all stayed home. I kept my Nintendo Switch at home. I just packed it up because, again, I'm moving to a Switch 2. I'm no longer keeping that stuff. So I took it there and I just said, I didn't take it there. I called them and said, what would you guys give me? And they said, well, right now we have a boost for members. They get an additional 10% on consoles that they trade in that we want. And locally here in Aurora, they're giving out an additional like $25 incentive if you trade in the console. So they said, we can't really give you a quote over the phone. You have to bring it in. We have to test it out and all that stuff. It takes about an hour. And I said, okay, well, an hour of my time is kind of precious right now during the week. I need my time on my lunches to go to the post office. If I'm going to do a deal with somebody, I need to have that time open to be able to go do a deal. I don't really want to drive down there and do all that. And I guesstimated because of their trading credit, like I know that they usually just do 20 to 50%. They were probably going to offer me like $200 plus that $50 is like $250. So I went to my local game store based in Colorado here. And again, chase after the right price was never done me wrong. Get to know your game store people if you guys are going to do this adventure on eBay through video games. Go talk to video game store owners. Go talk to employees. Because holy cow, does it pay off. I went there today and I told the guy I have a PS5. I just have the HDMI and the adapter and I have the controller. Stock. I haven't done anything with it. I haven't done any mods. I haven't added anything to it. I don't have any games. I don't have any extra controllers. I just have the stock thing. And the dude said, cool. He's the store owner. That's awesome. I'm actually looking to buy a PS5 myself. I've been looking around past couple of days. Nobody's come in with one since like last Thursday and we sold it right away. And I said, oh, okay. Well, here, I'll show you and you can take a look at it. This man hooked me up. He gave me full price trading credit because he wanted it. So the guy gave me, what is it? Like $470 trade-in value. And I was like, all right, well, I'm looking for a Switch 2, so I could just take the credit and hold on to it and hope for you guys to pick it up in the next week. Or maybe I could just pick up some games and sell them on eBay and get the cash and go buy my Switch 2. And the guy goes, oh, don't worry. I just picked up a Switch 2 this morning. So I picked it up. I already completed my challenge and got the Switch 2. It doesn't have the bumpers, but it has the original plug-in right here, plus they partner with XYAB, so they gave this to me for free to just use it because I told them I heard about XYAB through Chase After the Right Price and I was curious about them. So that's crazy. I swapped that, but they said I was kind of on the fence about doing it because I was like, I don't have my phone to know the values completely if it matches up of what I want and da 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 da. And the dude says, well, I know you flip on eBay. Like, you and I have had conversations about this. And I said, yeah. He goes, how about you pick some titles and just take them with you? And because I'm also looking for the remake series on Switch 2, the guy said, well, I don't have any of the remake games, but I have Crisis Core for Switch. And I don't want you walking out here without a Switch game. So on top of this, they threw in this for my store. They gave me 3 God of War titles, or 5 God of War titles, 2 Resident Evils. They gave me this so I could play it on the Switch 2. And they threw in some Switch games, or some Wii games. Like, these guys are dope. And then he offered me a $20 credit. I was like, no. You guys have already done too much. Thank you. You've already done too much. Like, stuff's crazy, man. It's all crazy to me. It's all crazy. But I already got this. I ordered Remake on Switch 2 at GameStop because I have some credit and I use my Pro points and I got it for, I think, like $18. So I will have Remake tonight. Probably going to test it out on this bad boy. Pretty exciting start to this week's video. This week's video, we're going to get into hagglers on eBay, price gougers, people who want to take your store and everything you're doing with it as a reseller, and they want to try and disrespect you by, I'm the reseller, and they try and offer me 20% of my item's price and try and buy it. People who will literally sorry, I got cut off there. But we're going to go over people who bug you on eBay as an eBay buyer or an eBay seller. Sorry. Back to you, True. Hey guys. Hello, True Knight here. So midway through my week, and I know I wanted to make a video talking about like crappy people and things like that on eBay. My experience so far. So I have a few moments because I gotta drive about 10 minutes to my next destination on my lunch break here. I did just pick up a massive Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4, and Amiibo collection yesterday. Spent $800 and I've already listed, I've gone a third way through the collection and I've already listed it for about $1,200. So I took a bunch of games that were $10 and under and decided to bring them to my game store. I talked to the game store guy and I asked him, would you like me to do this in the future? Because I do go and collect collections and flip them on eBay. And he said, yeah, more inventory is better for us. We love it. So now every time I go and get these collections and I run into games that are under a threshold for me, which is $10. I don't really want anything that's like $9 or under because I can't really justify doing that because after shipping and fees, I'm only making like $1 and I'm spending more than $1 on the packaging itself. So I'm just like, it's a loss for me at that point. So I need to be able to ship at least games that cost like $11 and over, because you know what I do. So I traded in 20 Game Boy Advance games and 15 PS4 games, and I traded in I think it was like 30 Xbox 360 games, and I got this stuff. I got 2 Pokken Tournament for Wii U, a sealed Mario Kart and Skyward Sword, and a Mario Kart Wii. So overall, it was a pretty fair deal for me. Well, sorry, you guys fell over. It was a pretty fair deal for both of us, I think. And I asked him, like, hey, if you guys are at all bugged by this, just let me know. And he said, no, we love getting the inventory. We want as many games as possible. And I was like, well, okay. So I still have on that collection 4 boxes of games to go through. So roughly, like, I think I've gone through like maybe a fourth of it. So who knows what it's going to end up being a total of. Like, I'm wondering if I might have just like tripled or quadrupled up. And the guy I bought it from, he was like, I'm getting ready to move out of state and I can't take all this with me. And I got to go see his collection. This dude has like the Pikachu 64, the orange 64, the lime green, purple one. He has all these games for 64 in box with manuals. He had his Nintendo Switch collection was just bonkers. He has so much stuff, and he's like, I'm offloading the Xbox stuff. And I was like, would you ever consider letting go of anything else? And he was just like, nah, man, sorry, you can't have my prize jewels. So fair enough, to each their own. I told him, here's my number. If you want, you can hit me up later. I'm always willing to do a deal. So tomorrow I am today is Thursday, tomorrow will be Friday. I'm gonna be picking up a pretty massive cartridge only 3DS and DS and Game Boy Advance Pokemon collection. It's gonna cost me about $950, but the total on it I think was about $1,900. So which it's kind of rough because they don't have boxes, but it's a double up if I list it and I can get it moving, which Pokemon moves pretty well. So so overall the channel is, the store is just flourishing, man. The store is going nuts. I'll show you guys later on in the video where we're at numbers wise, but real quick, I wanted to talk about crappy people you run into on eBay and on Marketplace. So like I told you guys last video, I do a lot of my shopping throughout the week and a lot of my dealing through Marketplace. So I search out like video game lot, I'll search out Nintendo Switch games, I'll search out all those things, and I'll go to places that I see. Like, I don't just go to people who are selling one game at a time. I typically will go to like people I see that have like 10 games or more listed is what I'm trying to do. And I'll always throw an offer out. I'll always just be like, hey, I looked through your games and I see the value on it is this. I'd be willing to pay you this. If you're cool with that, cool. If not, I'll keep it moving. No hard feelings, no nothing. I send like the same generic message to most people just because I don't want to stray away from my mentality of it. I don't want to put like personal touches on it. I don't want any kind of emotional thing on it, you know? So I did that, and this lady, I sent her an offer and she like responded right away, just like, you obviously don't know what you're doing or how to read. You're just a dirty reseller and my price is firm. I'm only accepting $50 per game. How dare you think you can offer this? You're not a store. All these things. And I'm just like, I took a moment when I read this because she blocked me right afterward. But like, I read it and I just kind of giggled because I was just like, oof, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, you know? But it was one of those like surreal moments where I was just like, geez, am I just a dirty reseller? Because I'm pretty honest with people and straightforward. Like, and I try to be as demographical as I can with like the fact that my target group of people that I'm selling to or buying from is people who just no longer want it, people who just want the space. Or what I have started doing recently in my marketplace is I'm willing to make trades with people if they're if I have a game that they want, because some people will put in their listings, my son wants another game, and I'll ask them like, hey, which game are they looking for? And I've had 2 scenarios come up where they said like, oh, he wants Mario Kart. I have Mario Kart Switch. How about I trade you for some of the stuff that you have in your lot? And and I do trades at even value. I don't ever go like, well, your stuff's only worth 50% and mine's worth 100. I don't play all that, but I think I'm pretty fair. I think I'm upfront and honest with a lot of people, and I don't really hide what I'm doing or anything like that with people. I don't see myself as a sleazebag. I feel like, hey, like I make it clear, like, is this fair to you and it's fair to me? Cool, let's do this kind of thing, you know? But the crazy part of this story is that 2 days later, I see another Nintendo Switch collection add up, and it got posted as just listed, and I looked at it and I saw like it was like 15 games and things like that, and I read the description. The description just said, hey, I just came across this and I'd like to sell it. So I made an offer, and I feel like I made a pretty fair offer. It had like 4 Pokemon games, 4 Mario games, a Zelda game, and then a couple of like Switch games that I don't even know about. And I made an offer of $600, and I said, if you'd be willing to meet me halfway from where they're located, which is like an hour and a half away from me, I'll throw in an extra $30 for your gas money. So $630 altogether. And I come to find out it was the lady's husband, and he posted the same games trying to get more exposure for the games that she had posted. And she replied to my thing that I sent to him and was just like going crazy, popping off like, I effing told you, you're an idiot. I don't know what world you think you have the right to do this. I'm reporting you to Facebook. And I'm just like, I made an offer. And I mean, I made like a 70% offer at that, you know, like I went above my like a 20% upgrade of what I usually do because I saw, oh, there's a lot of Pokemon and Mario and I want to get this collection. So I'll go ahead and just make a 70% offer. And then I offered money for gas. I think my offer was pretty fair, you know? And I'm always, I mean, anybody who knows me, granted they don't know me, I'm always willing to negotiate, you know? If anybody who's watching me has bought from me on eBay, I don't really like stickler at my prices. I'm pulling out cash right now because I'm going to pick up another collection later. But I don't really like sit there and say, no, this is my buy it now price, you have to buy it. You know, so just kind of, I don't know, man. You run into some funny people on the internet, I'll tell you what. Which is cool. I'm not gonna like sit there and I don't know. I wasn't gonna spend all my time being angry. My wife actually reached out to her and was just like, I just want you to know what you said to my husband earlier was very vulgar and rude, and we didn't report you to Facebook Marketplace, but I am personally reporting you to Facebook. I've taken screenshots, and she came back with this ugly, actually like racist comeback at my wife because my wife is Hispanic, and it was just nonsensical. And that's when I kind of just stepped in and just said, you know, your racist remarks were uncalled for, and we're all adults here. Apologies that you're so hurt in life by an offer, but saying what you said is very uncalled for, so we will be reaching out to Facebook regarding harassment violations. And her husband actually came back later on and messaged me personally and just said, I apologize. My wife shouldn't have said what she said. That was very out of line, and that's not who I am, but I have sat down and spoken to her about this, and I think it's just better that we all block each other. And I said, yeah, I agree, but I'm keeping my harassment report with Facebook. I'm not going to take that down. So it is what it is. As far as eBay, what I want to talk about is sometimes how people will make offers that are just kind of, kind of just raunchy, you know, like offers that you sit there and you're just like, why would you make this offer to me, you know? I posted games for the Switch collection, and I would post them at like $38, you know, or best offer. And people would come in and actually offer me $5 for Brilliant Diamond, or $5 for Smash Bros. Or one guy came in and said he would give me $10 for Mario Odyssey, but he also wanted me to include off the record Smash Brothers with it. And I replied with just like, you know, dude, if you want those kind of deals, you want to go to a garage sale, you don't want to go to an eBay seller. And like some people, they'll just reply with a laughing emoji, and you know, you're running into your typical troll. But some people will like make an offer. Like one guy, he made an offer for Mario, Paper Mario, and Mario Odyssey. He offered me $18, and I said no, and they actually came back and just were like, you're on a website where it's a national garage sale and you're a fool for declining my offer. I'm going to talk about you in my local groups and all these things. And I'm just like, yeah, let's go ahead and post a screenshot of your offer and me declining it, and let's see what people think in a local group. Like, hey, I offered this guy $6 a game, then they're valued at like $30 a game, and he declined it, and I'm mad. How is that gonna go for you, you know? So people are just like, people are funny out there, and you run into that. And you run into eBay buyers that you sell games to. I had a guy literally like return the game because he said, I took it out of the package and I just didn't like the look of it, so I want to return it. Like you saw the picture of it and you made me an offer and we talked about it and I agreed to it. Like, I feel like you should have known what you were in for, you know? And so it's just, that's like the down parts of eBay, is you run into stuff like that. Or I sold a deck core of Yu-Gi-Oh! And the cards had gotten warped because it's in Colorado, it's humid. I put them into a bubble packaging with those collective shell casings and taped it shut, but they still got a little warped. And this guy is just like, he took pictures of it and posted it to eBay and said, these are bent in half and I can no longer play them. And like, I'll get the I don't know if I'll get the picture out and show it to you, but like, it doesn't even look halfway warped. And I showed it to my group, actually my local Yu-Gi-Oh group, and I said, would you guys consider these bent in half and unplayable? And they were all like, no, that's normal wear on a card. And I was like, okay, well, this guy just returned this deck core to me, which I gave him 25% off of, and he returned it saying that they're warped to the core and that they're bent in half. You just can't impress everybody. I mean, in the past 30 days, I've done, I think, 160 sales, and I have one negative feedback, which is him saying that I sold warped cards. So I'm just like, what can you do? You know, my store went from 100% down to 99.4. But those are the kinds of things that I'm running into as far as frustrations. Other frustrations as far as like being a person going out and buying inventory are people who... So I sell, yes, I buy items for like typically 50 to 60%, and I'll sell them for around 80 to 90. But you'll never see me trying to get like the Mario Kart 8 game. I will not be posting that on eBay for $60. That's how much a new game goes for, but I'll probably post it for like 48 or best offer. I just feel like that's fair. But you do run into a lot of people who are like, I'm selling my Switch games for $40 each. And they're games that are worth like maybe 10 bucks. And you show them like, hey, this game's only worth like $10 and you're asking 40. And they're just like, well, I invite you to go to the store and buy it then for $10. And it's like, okay. I mean, if you like, you want to sit there and do that, but then it gives like the resellers a bad name, because it's like, I'm a reseller and I don't do that. I don't know if you're a reseller or if you're just a plain Joe out there in the street that's just, because you do run into people who are like, well, I bought my Switch for $500 and I bought these games for $49 each, and I'm like, that was years ago. Like after a while, games start to go down in value, your console goes down in value, and people just don't want to hear that. So those are the kind of things that I'm running into where I'm just like, all right, well, and I just tend not to get into the weeds. If somebody argues back with me at all, I usually just cut the conversation off. So that's how I handle it. I don't really go back and forth with people. So to each their own. Let me know how you guys do in the comments though, but I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I am pulling up to a car wash and then I'm going back home from my lunch break and I get to pick up my kiddo and go to the park. So back to you, True. Hi guys, it's True Night here. Every day I tell you guys that this is crazy. Everything going on my channel, my store, the deals I get. And every day it just feels like it just like one-ups itself every day. I'm starting to feel like a crazy person. Crazy day. Crazy week. So we did the Switch pickup last week. Okay. Got that. And tripled up. I sold all but I think like 4 of the games, and they're just not like the Mario, Pokemon, Zelda, Metroid, all that stuff is gone. All that's left is like the miscellaneous games. Then I went and picked up a massive Xbox collection for $600. I'm not even done yet. I still have that box full of games to go through. I think there's about 80 more games left, and I've already priced everything out on eBay for over $1,400, and I still have all that to go. And the guy he said another like 4 or 5 boxes of games that he wants to sell to me. And then tonight I was giving my children a bubble bath, as you do on Friday nights. And so I play a TCG called Yu-Gi-Oh! And I haven't played in like 6 months, but it's because there's no ban list and I'm waiting for a change of the game before I go back ever, if I do go back. Anyway, someone hit me up from that chat because I post in there weekly like, hey, I started up an eBay store and I'm buying video games. Hit me up if you want to make a deal. And I got hit up tonight and he said, hey, I'm really strapped for cash. I have some Pokemon games for DS and 3DS. And I was like, oh, wait, what? I was like, well, yeah, if you want to send pictures. He's like, well, I have them with me now, but can I just swing by? I know the guy. We can work out a deal. And I said, sure. Okay. So got done giving the kids a bath. And met with him. And this is what he brought me. Crazy, huh? I paid $400. It's all the cash I had. I told him I'd give him more. He said, no, that's okay. The story behind these is that he got these when he was a child. And he just never did anything with them. They just sat in his room. I'm not even bummed out that they don't have the boxes. Like a collection like this, so what? I can easily put it on eBay for what, 2K? So I'm gonna be listing that this weekend. I have a couple of garage sales tomorrow morning. Tonight's Friday night. Tomorrow morning is Saturday morning. I've already reached out to a couple of people via Facebook Marketplace who are selling video games at garage sales, so maybe I'll be showing you guys even more pickups before this video comes out, but this stuff gets crazier by the day. Anyways, let's do the... I don't even know where we are in the video on this. I'm just doing a whole bunch of videos that I record throughout the week, and then I sit down and talk to you guys and end the video. So back to you, True. Hey guys, True Knight here. So before we get into today's video, I wanted to go over a little bit of ad for myself and everything I'm doing, because whether this be a Yu-Gi-Oh content video or my eBay adventure series that I'm doing and everything with my new eBay store, I wanted to show you guys my store. Just to get my name out there for people who are also interested in buying items. Yeah, here's a little tour of my store and everything. I typically sell more just like video game stuff, so you'll see a lot of games. You'll see consoles, you'll see older video game stuff, like video game-esque stuff as well, sealed and unsealed games, of course. But yeah, I would just want to invite you to come check it out, come take a look, buy something, of course. That being said, if you message me and say, hey, True, this is so-and-so, I've watched your YouTube videos before and everything like that, I will be more than happy to throw you even more of a discount. I typically try to do a lot of just best offers on all my items, because I like to throw people like a $5 or $10 discount just to get the item out the door, things of that nature. But I'm more than willing to throw you a deal of even more than that. So just again, if you come into my store through YouTube, please message me with your item, make an offer, and just say, hey man, I watch you on YouTube, love the channel, or hey man, I gave your video a like, something of that nature, because then it'll incline me to give you a lot bigger of a discount. So anyway, let's jump into the video of the day. Peace. Thanks, True, appreciate you. Hey guys, so let's get up to finishing up this week's video. So we talked about some cool deals that I had worked out with the Switch 2 and Pokemon games. As always, Pokemon games are crazy when you can get them for cheaper than what they're going for. That was a big score. It's been a few days later since I filmed that, and I've already sold all but 2 of them. So we're looking pretty good there. More than doubled the money. And yeah, to talk about like kind of raunchy buyers on eBay. Speaking of which, I had a guy who and I don't know why this is, so I guess I'll have to reach out to eBay, but I shipped an order and it went to the address, shows delivered. It shows somebody went to the P.O. box and picked up the mail and received it, or not the P.O. box, but wherever that they delivered to, and the guy came back and said, no, I never received it. And I said, well, this is the address you listed, it shows that it delivered, I'm not refunding you. And he went and appealed it to eBay, and they decided to go in his favor, and I had to refund him. So who knows, but I'll have to reach out to eBay on that one and ask for a better explanation. But all is well, whatever. We're doing pretty well with the store this week. So far, week to date, we're at $5,000, and that's before fees and labels and all like that. So I'm gonna chop it up to, I don't know, just be on the safe side. 3,700 is what I'll chop it up to. So 3,700 in a week is not bad. It wasn't as good as last week, but last week we had that Nintendo Switch score that just went insane. So we're getting pretty big with our store. We have a whole ton of inventory that's just getting higher and higher end, meaning that like I have less games listed for like the $15 to $20 range than I do. Most of my inventory right now is like $40 and up. So I might see, what I'm predicting myself is like maybe a downtick in sales because I have such higher end stuff. I've been noticing that a lot of like the lower end stuff is selling and not so much the higher end. And I have a ton of like items that are listed at that 40 and up range. So what I'm wondering is maybe this week I'll see a downtick in sales, which no problem, because it's good to have higher end like volume, and for the right collector, they'll just click on it and buy it, you know, so whatever. What I'll probably be aiming to do this week is I'm going to aim to pick up my goal this week, the week of the 12th. It's currently Tuesday. By Saturday, I want to have picked up a collection that has at least like 100 games, just to have a whole bunch of those games that are in like the $10 range and to have some hits. Again, I'm always going to be on the lookout for Switch games because they're just a hot commodity right now. Any Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon just goes crazy. So if I can find those and buy them from people that want to get more value from a guy like me rather than trading it in, that's where I'll come in. And as far as like retro stuff, I guess the only thing I'd be on the lookout for is like Super Nintendo cartridges, maybe Nintendo. Not really so much Sega. I'm kind of burnt out of Xbox, to be honest, just from that collection I got. That was $800. Because holy cow, I went through like 4 huge boxes of games. Ooh, that was no fun. Yeah, I got a lot of hits out of it and everything, and I sold majority of those hits already. But dang, that was a lot of work. So maybe I'll look out for like a PlayStation collection or maybe even a Sega collection, because I only have like 2 Sega games in my inventory. So maybe I'll look out for some Sega games. But other than that, next week's video is going to talk about future planning and what we want big picture wise, right? The ultimate goal is to be able to run your own business and work for yourself. So how do I continue to build progress towards that, you know? And just see an uptick. That's always what I want to see, is just steady growth or stay steady. The goal is to make like at least 500 a day. That's before shipping and before fees. So that way it equates to about 350 a day. And to try and either go up from that or just stay at that for the next like month or so. But other than that, the store is going great. I'm having still a lot of fun with it. Not really feeling fatigue, but I can tell, what was it, the past like 24 hours I've been searching on like Facebook and things like that. Not really a lot of new ads. So gonna have to like kind of look at things like OfferUp, maybe even look at like eBay slots to see if there's any kind of deal I can find there, something like that. Or just, you know, I have like, what was it, 46 listings that I haven't posted yet that are like smaller items between $20 and $25. I'll just post those throughout the week and then let the profits build up and go garage selling on Saturday. My plan for this coming Saturday, the 16th, is there's a city it's called Colorado Springs. It's about a 45-minute hour drive from where I am. But I see a whole bunch of Switch games down there on Marketplace, so I'm thinking maybe on like Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to start to hit those folks up and say, hey, I'm going to be down there on Saturday morning. would you do this amount and I can meet you on Saturday morning to come pick it up. See how that fares out. So, but anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me on this video. It was a pretty crazy week. It's been a pretty crazy work week already, so just excited to get to the weekend. And like I said, next week we're going to talk about growing and how we want to deal with that. So anyway, that'll be it for me. I hope your guys' eBay stores are going great. If you follow me for my TCG content and Yu-Gi-Oh, the ban list just came out yesterday and it was a complete dud to me, so I don't really care. So still gonna be on a bit of a hiatus from that game, but I am actually selling a bunch of like deck cores and engines and stuff like that, so you'll be seeing it pop up on my store this week. So be on the lookout for that, but yeah, we'll kind of go from there. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys are safe. I hope everybody's doing well, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!